Nixon, on holiday in California, learned that Walters and Gray couldn't impede the investigation any longer. He put the best possible face on it.
I called Pat Gray to congratulate the FBI on a very successful operation they had in apprehending some hijackers. He then brought up the subject of the Watergate investigation. He said that there are some people around you who are mortally wounding you, or might mortally wound you, because they're trying to restrict this investigation. I said, Pat, you go right ahead with your investigation.
Well, it's easy to miss the irony, perhaps, in this, which was that this whole thing was Richard Nixon's idea to involve the CIA in deflecting the FBI.
The president promptly came up with a more brazen scheme to scupper the Watergate case. To pull it off, he needed some new prisoners of a different persuasion.
What he would do is cause a bunch of Democrats to be arrested, and then he would grant clemency to both Democrats and Republicans.
Ehrlichman's note shows that they would tell the Secret Service to book and charge anti-Nixon demonstrators. Then, the day after the election, the president would issue a general pardon and order the prosecutions ended. But there were still 4 months till polling day.
Nixon now, more than ever, Nixon now, more than ever, more than ever, we need Nixon now. Nixon now, more than ever, Nixon now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President and the future President of the United States of America.
Nixon's re-election machine looked unstoppable. But he knew that if the Watergate burglars started talking, it would be all over. So his campaign funds were used to buy more than just rallies, they bought silence. Howard Hunt and his wife began taking delivery of the hush money to distribute to the burglars.
To do these drops at the airport, and I would because lockers were always handy. I get a locker number, I take the key, put the money in the locker, take the key out, and I would tape it underneath the telephone. Then I would call on another phone. I would call the person, whatever name we used, Mrs. Hunt in that time. One time Mr. Hunt appeared and picked it up, and I'd say the key is taped under. You take that key and go to the locker and pick up your drop. And that's the way we did it. And it worked very well.
Nixon's men paid out over $250,000 in hush money that summer. It did the trick. The burglars kept silent. So too did Howard Hunt and his partner in crime. Gordon Liddy had now become a prime suspect.
We called over to FBI headquarters and we said, we identified another person, can you run this name? And within minutes they come back and say, G. Gordon Liddy, former FBI agent. Well, you know, by now I'm going, you know, what is this? CIA people, FBI people, you know, what is it? You know, what is going on here? Who's hiring all these people and why?
The way the conspiracy appeared to us to be shaping up with Liddy at the top based on the evidence we had, if it went higher, and we didn't know whether it went higher, the logical person based both on position and responsibilities would have been Jeb Magruder.
Magruder, as the deputy campaign chief, had to explain away nearly $100,000 that Liddy used for Watergate. Magruder concocted a story that the money was budgeted for campaign security, but that Liddy, all on his own, decided to spend it on the break-in.
Now, what I had to do was, number one, I had to go to the prosecutors and tell that story and make that believable, but number two, I had to have somebody to back it up.
Well, I refer to this as the sting. I was in my office, and Jeb came to the door and asked if I could join him in his office.
Well, I pitched it to Bart, basically on the basis that I needed his help, that We were in a quandary that this guy Liddy had gone off on his own, had done these things that had really created problems, but we had to have some way to justify giving him the money.
Magruder asked Porter to corroborate his story of a meeting at which Liddy's $100,000 budget was supposedly agreed.